Mauricio Pochettino out. Mauricio Pochettino needs to lose his job. Mauricio Pochettino doesn't know what he's doing. And it's only 4 games in. And that's what the general consensus is within the social media fans, within the match-going fans, and even some of you in my community. What the hell is going on? We need to be non-emotional. We need to be realistic. And we also need to come with facts. You can be Poch. I don't agree with you with your decisions at this moment in time, and still not be Poch out. That's where I sit. I don't agree with his decisions. I'm going to give you guys 4 key factors that I think are impacting Mauricio Pochettino's decision-making at Chelsea, where he needs to improve, how we're going to improve, and more important, standards must remain high, but at the same time, standards must remain realistic. So let's get into it. Let's break this down into nice little details. Let's take emotion out of it and try to be as realistic and optimistic as possible. Welcome to the Kavkas View, bratoki. Guys, today's video is going to be one that I didn't think I would have to make 4 games into the season. I really did not think that we would have to make this video because I thought people would understand it. But yet I'm starting to see that the mainstream media, the rival fans, are starting to infest our fan base. Our fan base is starting to regurgitate the same reasons and the same nonsense that everyone else is doing. So before I debunk every single one of those and actually ease your minds a little bit, I need you lot to hit that like button. I want 1,000 likes on this video. So can you please do that for me? And number 2, if you're new, subscribe. I need every little one of you to subscribe, purely based on the fact that we are on the road to 40,000 subscribers. The road is going to be a long one, but if you guys help, it's going to be a quick one. So please support. So right off the back, Mauricio Pochettino is under pressure, purely based on the fact that the media, the rival fans, keep reiterating the same thing. £1 billion spent. £1 billion spent. You've spent £1 billion. Look, I understand Chelsea and Todd Bowley have spent £1 billion. Mauricio Pochettino himself did not spend that £1 billion. Realistically speaking, Mauricio Pochettino is the only manager in history of world football to be responsible for the decisions of his predecessors. So let's talk about it. He's responsible for Thomas Tuchel's decisions. He's responsible for Frank Lampard's decisions. He's responsible for Graham Potter's decisions. But yet, actively, everyone will pin it on him when he had no decision making whatsoever. That's ridiculous and beyond compare. Let's talk about that £1 billion since everyone loves it so much. The first 350 million pounds of it, or maybe 400, was spent under Thomas Tuchel, with Thomas Tuchel's influence to Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley, Iqbali and Thomas Tuchel sat down and decided Koulibaly, Cucurella, Sterling, Aubameyang, and several investment projects would be obtained. Then, in January, guess who was involved? The new sporting director. The new sporting directors got Joao Felix on loan. They went and got Enzo Fernandez, who no one wants to complain about because he's a good signing. They went and acquired Mudryk. They went and acquired Noni. All the different entities that have made up the club. And finally, his signings have come in now. But let's break these signings down into little components. There are 3 categories that you need to look at. 1, Tuchel era, no sporting directors. That's like 1/3 of the money. On average, that will be around about 1/3 of the money. So straight away from the back, that's like 333 million spent on it. We spent around 250 million, or maybe even more, on investment projects that are going to be pure profit. They are purely here to join Chelsea, raise their value in the youth team or on loan, and then they will be sold. You want to talk about them? Moreira's a prime example. Came in for free, 2.5 million out of nothing. He's already on loan, and he's reaping the rewards. He's going to have a good loan, bad loan. We can still flip him because he's on reasonable wages that can be flipped. The issue arises is we've spent 450, most probably, on our first team at this moment in time. And in my opinion, we are not utilizing them properly. And that's the issue that Poch needs to be criticized for. Not that Poch has spent so much money, because there isn't a correlation with the more money you spend, the more successful you're going to be. There isn't. If there was, then there's no point of having what's it called great sporting directors, great coaches, because evidently the more money you spend, you're going to be. The second factor that is a big issue and no one wants to accept is Poch is being a coward. And I mean this in the most respectful way. Big man, you need to stop. Por favor, stop being a coward. I don't know how to say that in Spanish, but I'm going to try. Por favor, estupido, cowardo. I'm going to try. Tell me if I was right, tell me if I was wrong. I don't care at this moment in time. I'm really annoyed. Like, honestly, Thiago Silva, in my opinion, is a very good player. And Thiago Silva has hit out at what's it called, the fan base. He literally, yesterday, commented and said, look, we're playing a 4 at the back. He went on Instagram. He's taken his wife's advice, and you know what? Now he's reacting to people. You know these players read everything we say. Most probably some players are watching this, and if you are, please guys, play better, okay? We need you to play better. I honestly cannot keep defending people when the performances are actually not that bad, but the results are bad. And reality is, Thiago Silva went on Instagram and said, look, we're playing 4 at the back. I'm playing at a 4 back, but if you want to pin it all on me, it's my fault. So be it. The issue is Ben Chilwell. We attack with 2 players, and then the rest are all defensive-minded players and Conor Gallagher. And I like Conor Gallagher as a squad player, not as a starter. Ben Chilwell is not a left winger. I don't know where Poch has convinced himself Ben bloody Chilwell is a left winger. I can't even be harsh on Ben Chilwell. Do you know why? Because he's not a left winger. It's like asking David De Gea to play number 9. He's not going to be a good number 9 because he's a goalkeeper. He's not a number 9. You can't ask a left back to go and play left wing and expect the production of a forward. And not just any old forward, of a top 4 caliber forward. It's not going to work. People that are blaming Thiago Silva are actively just looking for reasons to blame somebody. Thiago is not the issue. Disasi wasn't the issue. Livakoa was not the issue. Caicedo and Gallagher were not the issue. We attack with 2 players, and that drops down on Poch's head top. Poch, realize what your mistakes are and act on it. We need to remove Ben Chilwell from that starting lineup. You want to play him because he's your captain? Play him left back, take Silva out, put Colwell on left centre back, or take Disasi out and put Silva on that side. Stop it now. The third problem, the tactics. The tactics actually kind of work, and this is what makes me laugh because, guys, look, I like to use 2 metrics to judge teams. Eyes. Your eye test. What do I see? What kind of feeling do I get? Then I like to get underlying numbers. Underlying numbers are XG, touches in the opposition box, touches in dangerous areas, potential chances conceded in XGA, yeah? I like to look at those underlying numbers to make my mind up. But first, it's the eye. Eyes are not lying. We are creating chances and we are missing them. And if you want the numbers, the underlying numbers, I've got it. In the league, we are 4th for XG for goals scored. We are 4th for goals conceded on XG. That means the chances that we give away and the chances we create, we should be 4th in the league at production level. Yet, with the expected points we should have after our first 4 games, we should be 2nd. We should be sitting on somewhere between 8 and 9 points. We should have won 2 games and drawn 2, or won 3 and lost 1. That's literally what the maths is saying. Our eyes tell us a different story. But if you go back and look at it, we should have beat Liverpool. We bottled it due to Poch's poor tactics in the second half and lack of ability to change the game in the second game against West Ham. We beat Luton comfortably and we should have won yesterday. We should have taken our chances yesterday. We should have actually picked up 9 points. And look at now, we need to look at the underlying numbers. And this is the key, right? We scored 1 goal against Liverpool. We created 1.35 in XG. We scored 1 goal against West Ham. We created 2.49. 2.49 against West Ham. We created 2.27. We scored 3 goals. And yesterday we created 2.3 but scored no goal. What does that tell you? The chances are there. The production isn't. And what's the issue with the production? I'll tell you, you're playing defenders in attacking areas and they're the ones expected to take these chances. That's where the error is. That's where the problem is. Not the system. At this moment in time, the system works. The tactics are evidently working. We are generating chances. We're keeping teams out in terms of the chances that they receive are low opportunities. They are chances that they're not likely to score. However, luck is going against us. And more importantly, we're expecting our defense to play a near perfect game because our forward line is not finishing their dinner. Jackson is responsible for missing this chance yesterday. Raheem Sterling running into the box, looking up and having no movements in and around him for him to put a cutback in is Chilwell's fault, is Enzo's fault, is Gallagher's fault. People don't want to accept that, but it's the truth. It is their fault. And you know how that changes? You start putting attacking players. This is what Poch needs to do. Poch needs to take Ben Chilwell's ass out of that team ASAP. And Poch needs to decide, who do I trust more? Mikhailo Mudryk, Misha, or Noni Madueke? Noni. Nonzinho or Misha? Which one do you want to trust? You want to trust Noni? Noni goes on the right wing. Raheem Sterling, you go onto the left wing. Jackson, you stay at number 9. Jackson's XG tells you he's going to get goals. It's all about developing his finishing. He's 22. he will develop. If you don't want to do what's it called, trust Mikhailo Mudryk, then you put you put Misha on the left, you put Raheem on the right, and you go with that. The next step, and this is a key integral one. Reece James doesn't play, Gusto's playing, you need to have Ian Maatsen at left back. Reason being, Ian Maatsen is better in the final third, he's better at crossing, he will be the natural outlet. You get Malo Gusto cutting in, you get the three at the back that you already want, you get that nice tight middle part, and in this case, you have Caicedo and Enzo and whoever you want. Then, if Reece James is back, you put Levi Colwill at left back, you go with a back three, in the sense of what we're doing now, or back four, and you go Badiashile, Disasi, or Silva, and you're fine. Yet people don't want to understand that. And in midfield, games like yesterday, you don't need to go Gallagher and Enzo and Caicedo. You can take Gallagher out and put Cole Palmer. You can put Carney Chukwuemeka on. That's what he needs to do. He needs to be braver. That is the difference between us winning those games because of players that can capitalize on the situations and players that are just not comfortable in those situations, missing those high XG. The final factor that I think is a problem, and people just haven't clocked onto it yet, but this has happened before to Pochettino. Pochettino's first 9 games at Spurs. He won 3, drew 2, lost 4. That will not cut it at Chelsea Football. Chelsea Football Club cannot get 11 points out of 27 in their first 9. And at this moment in time, we're on track to be getting that. Because Chelsea Football Club at this moment in time has got 1 win, 1 draw. We need to beat Bournemouth. We have to beat Bournemouth, and then we need to go and make an example out of Aston Villa. It will be difficult. Villa are a very good side, but history is repeating itself with Pochettino. He is being a coward, and that's what's going to cost him. He is being scared. He's got the training wheels on, and he's actively being scared to unleash the players that we have paid a lot of money to unleash. These individuals are not ready. They're young, but they need game time. The only way they get better is by playing games. People want to keep saying Poch and Ange had the same period of time, but yet one team is attacking with fluidity and the other team's struggling. Yes, one team has got forwards on and the other one doesn't. One team's forwards have played and combined nearly 1,600 games in Spurs, and Chelsea's have played around about 700, and Raheem Sterling makes up majority. We need to be realistic. We need to be honest, and we need to be behind this manager for at least 19 games. At least you have to give him half a season to implement something. That's a checkpoint. That's not, oh my God, do whatever you want. After those 19, we look at it and say, what have we done? And Poch, you're either under serious pressure now, or we're doing well, we keep a little bit more of the same. So guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I hope you lot are calm. I hope you lot have relaxed a little bit after you heard those numbers, after you heard the statistics, after you heard my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. What is the issue and what can we replace? Please don't just say Poch out, because if you sack Poch, what do you do next? Who is out there that is going to come in and just magic wand and we're much better? Just tell me now.